Antarctica is hiding something that could erase modern civilization, and it's already starting to wake up. Beneath 2 kilometers of ice, there's a world nobody was supposed to see. Rivers flowing in complete darkness. Ancient lakes sealed off for millions of years. Creatures surviving where life shouldn't exist. And buried deep below it all, something even scientists are afraid to release. Now imagine every single piece of Antarctic ice melting. Not in thousands of years. Not centuries. In minutes. At first, nothing feels real. Antarctica looks frozen forever. Endless white deserts. Temperatures so cold your breath can freeze before it leaves your mouth. Penguins. Seals. Scientists trapped in tiny research stations. But underneath that calm surface sits enough ice to rewrite the entire planet. And the first crack begins with something called the Doomsday Glacier. The Thwaites Glacier is the size of Florida. Right now, it's collapsing faster every year. 50 billion tons of ice vanish into the ocean annually. That alone already contributes to rising sea levels. But here's the strange part. The glacier isn't melting from the top. It's melting from underneath. Deep below the ice, hidden rivers of water are eating Antarctica from the inside out. Heat from Earth's molten core seeps upward, weakening the glacier like termites hollowing out wood. Massive chunks suddenly snap away. One collapse triggers another, then another, and that's when things change. Within seconds of total melt, sea levels surge across the planet. Streets disappear underwater. Miami floods first, then New Orleans, then San Francisco. Entire neighborhoods vanish beneath black seawater before people even understand what's happening. But this isn't just about floods. Because as Antarctica melts, it reveals something nobody expected. Land. An entire hidden continent buried under ice. Mountain ranges. Giant valleys. Massive underwater ecosystems untouched for millions of years. Antarctica isn't just frozen water sitting on an ocean like the Arctic. There's solid ground underneath. And hidden below that ground are secrets locked away long before humans existed. And this is where it gets weird. Scientists believe ancient viruses and bacteria are trapped inside that ice. Some could be millions of years old. Organisms modern humans have never encountered before. No immunity. No defenses. No idea how they behave. Imagine diseases from another Earth. A prehistoric ecosystem suddenly released into modern civilization. And that's not even the craziest part. As the ice disappears, Antarctica transforms into something terrifyingly alive. Under the melting glaciers, strange creatures begin to emerge from the darkness. Tiny fish, transparent crustaceans, and bizarre Antarctic anemones attached upside down beneath the ice itself. But unlike normal sea anemones, these ones move. They crawl. Scientists still don't fully understand why. And what they eat is even worse. For millions of years, dead organisms have been trapped beneath the ice like food preserved in a freezer. Ancient bacteria, rotting skeletons, entire ecosystems frozen in time. Now those creatures are feeding on prehistoric decay that predates human civilization. But here's the strange part. Some of those ancient microbes may still be alive. As temperatures rise, long-dormant bacteria begin waking up. Organisms untouched for thousands, maybe millions of years suddenly re-enter Earth's biosphere. And modern medicine might not be ready. Researchers already discovered antibiotic-resistant bacteria hidden in Antarctic ice. If those genes spread into modern diseases, infections we currently treat with simple medicine could become unstoppable. A simple cut could turn deadly. A common fever could become untreatable. And during all this chaos, the oceans themselves start behaving strangely. You'd expect sea levels near Antarctica to rise first. But instead they fall. Sounds impossible, right? But Antarctica's ice sheet is so massive, its gravity literally pulls ocean water toward it. When the ice disappears, that gravitational pull weakens. Water moves away from Antarctica and floods distant coastlines instead, which means cities thousands of kilometers away suffer first. Boston sinks. New York floods. Shanghai disappears beneath rising tides. Mumbai, Lagos, Jakarta, all drowning together as salt water destroys farmland, contaminates drinking water, and wipes out coastal infrastructure in weeks. But that's not even the worst consequence. Because the oceans have another hidden system most people never think about. A giant underwater conveyor belt. Cold, salty water normally sinks deep into the ocean, pushing warmer water around the globe and distributing heat and nutrients everywhere. It's one of the reasons Earth's climate stays stable. But once Antarctica melts, billions of tons of fresh water dilute the oceans. That conveyor belt begins slowing down, then jamming completely. And what happens next changes everything. Some scientists believe this could trigger catastrophic climate shifts. Certain regions freeze, others overheat. Storm systems mutate into something unrecognizable. Entire ecosystems collapse simultaneously, and humanity realizes the planet isn't breaking slowly anymore. It's unraveling all at once. At 4 meters of sea level rise, the world starts losing symbols people once believed were permanent. The Jefferson Memorial disappears underwater. Fenway Park vanishes. Entire coastlines become ghost cities swallowed by the ocean. And then Antarctica reveals something nobody expected to see in their lifetime. A canyon system larger than the Grand Canyon itself. Buried beneath the ice for millions of years sits one of the deepest canyons on Earth, stretching thousands of kilometers across the hidden continent. Massive mountains emerge beside it. Ancient valleys untouched by sunlight since before humans existed. And near the center of Antarctica lies something even stranger. Lake Vostok, a gigantic lake trapped beneath the ice for roughly 15 million years. Think about that. An entire ecosystem sealed away while human evolution hadn't even begun yet. No contact with modern life. No contamination. Just total isolation in freezing darkness for millions of years. Scientists drilling into the lake discovered unknown microorganisms unlike anything found elsewhere on Earth. But here's the disturbing question. What happens if those organisms escape? Modern immune systems evolved to fight modern pathogens, not ancient prehistoric microbes from a completely isolated ecosystem. Some viruses buried in permafrost have already shown they can reactivate after tens of thousands of years frozen. Now scale that up to Antarctica, and suddenly the melting ice stops looking like a climate problem. It starts looking like a biological time bomb. Meanwhile, Earth itself begins overheating faster than expected. Ice normally reflects sunlight back into space like a giant mirror. Remove the ice, and darker oceans absorb heat instead. Temperatures skyrocket. Warm water accelerates more melting. More melting releases more greenhouse gases. A feedback loop begins. And this is where it gets terrifying. As oceans warm, microscopic fungi decompose dead organic matter faster, releasing even more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Freshwater layers also stop oceans from absorbing carbon effectively. Earth loses one of its natural cooling systems. The planet starts cooking itself. And while all this happens, gigantic algae blooms explode across Antarctic waters. Nutrients buried beneath the ice suddenly flood the oceans, feeding trillions of microscopic organisms. For a brief moment, parts of Antarctica become strangely alive. Green water spreads across areas once frozen solid. It almost looks beautiful, until the oxygen disappears. Massive blooms eventually suffocate marine ecosystems, creating enormous dead zones where almost nothing survives. And humanity finally realizes this isn't one disaster. It's every disaster at once. Then comes the final collapse. The remaining Antarctic ice fractures into continent-sized chunks. Towering walls of ice crash into the ocean with enough force to generate massive waves across the planet. Within minutes, sea levels surge more than 70 meters worldwide, and civilization breaks instantly. 40% of humanity lives near coastlines. That's over 3 billion people directly in the path of rising oceans. Cities vanish before evacuations even begin. Entire skylines disappear beneath dark water. People race upward through flooded buildings, searching for rooftops, while helicopters struggle to reach survivors. But there aren't enough helicopters. There aren't enough boats. There isn't enough time. The Atlantic coast of the United States is gone. Huge portions of California become scattered islands. London disappears. Venice vanishes completely. Paris floods. Coastal Asia collapses under relentless waves. Bangladesh is erased almost entirely. Governments panic as infrastructure fails everywhere at once. Roads vanish underwater. Airports shut down. Power grids collapse. Drinking water becomes contaminated with salt. And that's when the real panic starts. Fresh water suddenly becomes more valuable than oil. Underground aquifers near coastlines turn salty. Rivers become contaminated. Food systems collapse as farmland dies beneath seawater intrusion. Nations begin fighting over habitable land. But here's the strange part. Some places actually become more desirable. The American Midwest suddenly turns into prime territory. Canada becomes one of the safest places on Earth. Alaska transforms into valuable land instead of frozen wilderness. And Antarctica itself starts changing rapidly. Because 34 million years ago, Antarctica wasn't frozen. It was covered in forests. Palm trees once grew there. Rivers flowed freely. Ancient animals thrived in warm wetlands. And as temperatures continue rising, scientists believe parts of Antarctica could eventually become green again. Imagine tropical beaches at the South Pole. Alligators swimming where glaciers once stood. A rainforest reborn on top of the ruins of modern civilization. But humanity may never get the chance to see it. Because beneath thawing permafrost lies another hidden threat. Methane. Huge amounts of it. As frozen soil melts, trapped methane escapes into the atmosphere, accelerating warming even faster. Ancient microbes begin feeding on thawed organic matter, releasing even more greenhouse gases like an unstoppable chain reaction. The hotter Earth becomes, the faster everything melts. And the faster everything melts, the hotter Earth becomes. A runaway planet. And humanity is trapped inside it. By the end, Earth no longer resembles the world humans built. Average global temperatures climb by as much as 10 degrees Celsius. Heat waves become permanent seasons. Entire regions near the equator turn nearly unlivable. Mass migration begins on a scale never seen before in human history. Billions move north and south searching for survivable climates. Borders collapse under pressure. Governments lose control. And during all this chaos, scientists make one final horrifying discovery beneath the Antarctic ice. Ancient viral DNA. Not dead. Dormant. Waiting. Some researchers believe prehistoric viruses trapped inside permafrost could reactivate once thawed. In normal times, humanity might contain outbreaks quickly. But now, hospitals are flooded. Infrastructure is collapsing. Supply chains are gone. There may be no coordinated response left. And this is where it gets truly terrifying. Nobody knows what these ancient pathogens are capable of. Some may do nothing. Others could spread through populations with zero natural immunity. Vaccines would take time humanity no longer has. Entire refugee populations crowded into shrinking habitable zones would create perfect conditions for global outbreaks. A pandemic during planetary collapse. And somehow, Antarctica still keeps its secrets. Because even after all the ice melts, scientists believe there are hidden ecosystems, buried mountain ranges, and ancient geological structures humanity has never seen before. Entire worlds beneath the ice waiting to be uncovered. But by then, civilization may already be gone. The oceans are warmer. The skies are unstable. The coastlines are erased. And the places humans once considered frozen wastelands become the only regions left capable of supporting life. What's left of humanity now lives in the shadows of former polar ice caps, rebuilding society on land that spent millions of years hidden beneath glaciers. And maybe the strangest part of all, Antarctica has melted before. Long before humans existed, the continent was green, warm, and full of life. Earth survived that transformation once already. The real question is whether humanity can survive it again. Because right now, the Doomsday Glacier is already cracking. The oceans are already rising. And somewhere beneath Antarctica's ice, something ancient may already be waking up.